Thank you. If you want to find out what's going on with gun legislation, because a lot of it isn't talked about in the media, as we all know, go to gunowners.org, and Larry Pratt and his people will be happy to tell you what you need to do, what's going on. They got the microscope on this. They're watching it all, and join in and try to preserve the Second Amendment here in the United States of America, no matter what Das Fuhrer says. Larry, before you go, I've got to ask you about this. A lot of people are talking about it, and it is your membership in what is being called the ultra-secret Council on National Policy. A lot of the guests we have on this show, such as Jerry Corsi, Jack McClam, who's been a good friend of mine for many years, Stan Monteith, Cliff Kincaid, and even Bob Barr, along with Oliver North, a number of neocons like Tom DeLay, the who's who of neocons in many cases, belong to this organization. And people are saying that, well, we're not to trust you guys because you're in this organization. Tell us what this is all about, please.
Well, they must have a point. When you join an organization, you obviously become a lockstep member. It's kind of like when you go into a garage, you become a car. Actually, I found the organization to be ineffective. I didn't find them doing anything. It was a lot of speeches. It was all nice information, but I can get the same information without going to an expensive hotel where the meetings are held. So I dropped my membership.
You're no longer a member.
No. But, you know, it almost makes me mad enough that if I could afford the few thousand a year to be a member, I'd rejoin, just to say so there.
Sure. I mean, I voted for Bill Clinton in 1992. Does that make me an evil liberal? I mean, well, that's what Bush called me, American-hating liberal.
Well, that was probably the best alternative available on the Arkansas ballot at that year.
Well, I mean, I'm sorry there's some clubs and member things I've joined.
Sure.
Like I said, I've known Jack for many years. He went in and saved the Weaver family at Ruby Ridge. I don't know if that action should be popped into the popcorn maker here, but I have to ask you about it, and so this organization was provided by Rockefeller money, all of that. I guess that's what people are upset about, and they think it's ultra secret. I mean, there are a lot of organizations we just don't hear about because they're not very prominent. I would hope that if Rockefeller had been funding it, you wouldn't have had to pay so darn much money to be a member. That doesn't add up. I never saw any of that lying around loose that I got my hands on. Let's put it that way. Did you ever hear anything over there that sounded fishy to you and maybe you didn't want to be involved with? No. You're talking about most of the better-known and a lot of the lesser-known conservative leaders from around the country, and they just didn't want a lot of news types in there carrying out false reports, so they made it a closed meeting. And you're not going to have dinner with Dick Cheney or Rudy Giuliani or Eric Prince or any of these so-called members? I'd love to have dinner with Dick Cheney. He was one of the best members of the House of Representatives when he was in. He was one of the few guys that ever got 100% on our rating. And you liked him as vice president? We've had worse. Really? Yeah. But that's neither here nor there. The guy did a good job in Congress, so I've always got a soft spot in my heart for him because of that. What about Eric Prince? You think he's doing a good job? You a fan of Blackwater or Z or whatever they call him? Yeah, I don't even know who he is, so it's hard to give you an opinion. Mm-hmm. All right, well, I've done my job, and I've asked you the questions. I'm not going to go fishing for a conspiracy here, Larry, because I'll tell you why. You've just been such a great advocate for gun owners in this country, and I just look at a person's actions. I don't think that there can be anything nefarious in what you do, and I'm sure that this administration in particular, and even the last one, weren't very happy with you. So. No, that's true, because we
have put heat on all of them. And frankly, as much as I liked a lot of what Ronald Reagan said, he did us a lot of hurt. And those things need to be said.
Yeah. Same with Paul Craig Roberts and certainly Stan Monteith and, again, Jack McClam. That's kind of where the whole conspiracy falls apart for me. I don't blame people for being suspicious. I'm sure you don't either. But I don't want it to go to the point of paranoia here.
Yeah, I think if it were a better conspiracy, it probably wouldn't be as well known. But the Council on National Policy is they don't really make much secret of their existence. They just close the meetings.
All right, let's move along here. Chris Matthews, a regular listener of this show. Do you have any message for the Chris Matthews of the world? You would not believe the volume of mail I'm getting from Democrats who don't know who they're sending it to, who they're spamming, obviously, telling me how they're going to use Ted Kennedy to grab our guns, to get the health care through in his name. They're doing all of this. Your message to the Obama Kool-Aid drinking liberal state-run media out there, anything you want to say to them directly?
Yeah, any bill that we seriously consider to memorialize Kennedy's name should be called the Mary Jo Kopechne Memorial Act to fill in the blank.
I'm sure her family appreciates that.
Well, they were paid well for their silence, but the rest of us who believe in justice haven't been quite so happy with the outcome.
Yeah. I really believe that in this day and age, I mean, you look at the record gun buys, record ammunition buys. I think more people are starting to understand what we've been saying all these years, Larry, and that's got to be a good thing.
I hope so. What I've seen coming out of these town halls is something that certainly goes beyond a particular piece of legislation. When you've got constituents that are willing to say more than one to one congressman, sit down, be quiet, you work for us, we want you to listen to what we had to say. Good word.
Read the damn bills. We tried to stop the Grove Punisher herself, Sotomayor. I guess they weren't listening to us either. I know you guys have a lot of that on your website. It is Larry Pratt, folks, gunowners.org. Larry, you be well and keep up the good work. Stay bold, and I'll look forward to having you back again real soon.
Thank you so much. And let me just reiterate, gunowners.org.
Gunowners.org, folks. Thank you, Larry. Appreciate the time.
Hey, bye-bye.
Tomorrow on the program, we'll have a bit of a roundtable discussion, and, my good friend Mac White will join us. I wonder what organizations he belongs to. We better do a full background check before we have him on. Sorry, folks. I know. I'm going to get in trouble for all of this. I do the best I can. Have a great evening. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow. Stay tuned to AmericanFreedomRadio.com, and stay bold, America. Mighty forces are coming to your aid.